The NLRB and the need for stronger enforcement powers. The National Labor Relations Board, the agency meant to protect American workers and enforce labor laws, has been described by many as a toothless watchdog. But why? Today, we'll examine the NLRB's limitations, how its lack of enforcement power undermines workers' rights, and why reform is urgently needed to restore faith in the labor movement. Part 1. The role of the NLRB. Founded in 1935 as part of the New Deal, the NLRB was created to safeguard workers' rights, ensuring fair treatment and protecting the right to collective bargaining. Its purpose was clear: to act as a neutral enforcer of labor laws and a defender of workers against unfair labor practices. But the vision of the NLRB and the reality of its operations today are two very different things. Part 2. The NLRB's weaknesses. Over the years, the NLRB's power has eroded, leaving it unable to fulfill its mission effectively. 1. Limited remedies. The NLRB can only issue remedies that lack teeth, such as reinstating fired workers or requiring employers to post notices of wrongdoing. These measures fail to deter repeat offenses. 2. No financial penalties. Unlike other regulatory agencies, the NLRB cannot impose fines or monetary penalties on violators, even in cases of egregious misconduct. 3. Lengthy resolution processes. Workers often wait months or years for cases to be resolved, during which time retaliation, intimidation, and financial hardships can devastate their lives. 4. Underfunding and staffing shortages. With a stagnant budget and limited resources, the NLRB struggles to handle its caseload, let alone proactively enforce labor laws. Part 3. Real-life consequences of a weak NLRB. The weaknesses of the NLRB have real and devastating consequences. Workers silenced. Fear of retaliation and a lack of meaningful protections discourage workers from reporting abuses or filing charges. Corruption thrives. Unions and companies that violate labor laws face little to no accountability, creating a culture where misconduct is normalized. Disillusionment with labor protections. When workers see no consequences for violations, trust in the system erodes, further weakening the labor movement. Part 4. The path to reform. To make the NLRB effective, meaningful reforms are essential. 1. Grant the NLRB financial enforcement powers. Allow the agency to impose fines on violators to deter misconduct and provide restitution to affected workers. 2. Shorten case timelines. Streamline the process for resolving cases to ensure timely justice for workers. 3. Strengthen protections for whistleblowers. Expand protections to shield workers who come forward from retaliation, ensuring their safety and livelihood. 4. Increase funding and resources. Provide the NLRB with the budget and staffing it needs to enforce labor laws effectively and proactively. Part 5. A call to action. The NLRB has the potential to be a powerful ally for workers, but without stronger enforcement powers, it will remain a symbolic agency rather than an effective one. We must demand reforms that empower the NLRB to fulfill its mission. Give it the tools to hold violators accountable. Ensure workers can trust the system to protect their rights. Restore integrity to the labor movement. This is not just about fixing an agency. It's about ensuring fairness, justice, and dignity for every American worker. In closing, without reform, the NLRB's role will continue to diminish, and the rights of workers will remain at risk. But change is possible if we demand it. Together, we can push for a stronger, more effective NLRB, one that stands as a true champion for the American worker. The time to act is now.